Guess what? We are live on the internet, which is the same thing as TV, if you ask me. DJ is fired, but check it out. I'm Jeff Taylor. I'm your host, and this is the Madjef Music Show. I'm so glad you can tune in today. It's an interesting day, interesting times we're living in, and so forth. So what's going on in the world? I just want to, well, first of all, my guest today is the lovely Monika Watkins of, she's at Bird Set Free Films, and she's an up-and-comer. She is going to be joining me in a little bit to talk about some of the documentary films she makes and why she's, wielding a camera as her third eye and doing some really cool stuff and is passionate about it and that whole process. I love having guests like this on. She's going to be on in just a little bit. First, let's get into a little news bit. What is the news about? What news do I have to share, you say? Dare I say I have news? I do. This is news to me. Watch this. We just love looking at that picture of okay. My little news clip. Dig it. So who's in the news? We have Felicia Rashad, appointed Dean of the Fine Arts at Howard University. So your mom and my mom from the 90s, you know it. She's about to go out and do like a real job now and try to turn around this arts program and bring it back to prominence. So I think that's news, and I'm excited about that news. I wanted to share that with you on my show today. What else we got? This is interesting right here. I found this to be quite interesting. Michael Jordan is going to be presenting Kobe Bryant into the Hall of Fame. It's going to be a pretty sweet induction, I think, bringing that young fella in there. Rest in peace, Kobe. But the legend, bringing the legend in, it's not a bad look, man. I'm excited about that. So, anyway, welcome to the show. Again, I'm your host, and this is the Madjef Music Show. Anyway, let's stop playing, man. Let's get right in here. I wanted to give you a little brief synopsis. No, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna run the clip because my guest is here and she can speak for herself, I think. Let's see if I can make the clip go.
Hi, my name is Monika Watkins. I'm a filmmaker presently based in Dallas, Texas, originally from Atlanta, Georgia. The current project I am directing and producing is called Dabney Montgomery, From Selma to New York. It is a short animated film inspired by Dabney Montgomery, who was a civil rights activist, a Tuskegee Airman, and just an all-around incredible human being. This story is a coming-of-age story that represents Dabney's journey to obey his conscience. Some of the scenes from Selma to New York represent what Dabney experienced as a young black boy growing up in Selma, Alabama. Images that we've seen many times in archival footage. This is a history that we tend to not want to remember. And I think that it's really important for young people to see these images and understand just the power of sharing stories, but also the power of being able to grow from them. That's why I decided to.
That's awesome. That is Monika Watkins, and she's going to be joining us momentarily. This is her film company, Bird Set Free Films, and it speaks volumes. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to, without further ado, let's get some music and bring in our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this lovely lady is Monika Watkins. What's going on? Everybody say hello.
Hello, how are you?
We are living the dream now because we got you on the show. So, welcome, Monika. I'm going to put us in a two-shot. Check this out.
Thank you.
Bam. What's up,
How are you? I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. People ask me how I do it, and I just say,
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it.
This is gonna be fun. Yes.
It's a good time. It's a good time. So nice to see you. So nice to see you. Welcome to the show.
You as well. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate you having me on and showcasing this work that I'm doing. It means a lot to me. So thank you.
Well, like, I want to just be able to get you on here before Hollywood snatches you up and they start getting all the glory. I want to be able to say, somebody say, Jeff saw her first he had her on his show. You know, because Hollywood, they gloss it over like they've been knew you. I've been knew you.
You've been new.
I've been
I love
knew
it.
you. So, Monika, you are a
Yes.
filmmaker, a producer. You shoot, I read somewhere where you shoot some of those HGTV television episodes.
I did. There was quite a while there when I was with AMS Pictures, which is actually where I met you,
Yes.
Jeff. We met back then. You came through the studio, which is a really wonderful studio. It's one of the best, I think, studios in Dallas. And we were in the original programming department doing shows for HGTV. We did a show for Cooking Channel. And I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to work on a lot of those shows. So I traveled to, I think, 46, 45 states in the country, and also did some international shoots. So it was, I felt really lucky and really blessed to be able to work on those shows. So yeah, HGTV and a whole lot more.
That's high level stuff. That really is. That's one of my favorite channels, by the way. I'm still trying to win
Is
the
that right?
house. I haven't won the house yet, but you know, it's funny. The house could be like in Maine. I'm like, I'm moving to Maine if I win.
You're like, I'm going.
I'm coming for
I love
these.
it. Maine's not bad.
Well,
Yeah.
we'd be lobstering up
should.
in Maine.
Right.
But you know what? So from Atlanta, Georgia,
Originally,
college graduate,
I am.
HBCU, right? Right on.
I cannot claim that. I wish that I could, but I cannot. Both of my parents went to HBCUs. I'm sorry. I got to keep it real and 100. I went to the University of North Texas, and the film department there was wonderful. But my mother went to Bennett College, and then my father went to Morehouse for a period of time. So yeah, I come from HBCU line, but I've not attended. I did also get to teach a class at Wiley College, so I'm connected in a lot of ways and have mad love for HBCUs, but I didn't go to one.
Without question. Okay, so this film bug, you like, are you a person that carries their iPhone everywhere they go and they like literally like the best camera I have is the one I have with me and like use it all day?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, especially when I'm traveling. But I tell you what, when I'm in Dallas, though, I tend to not film as much. I tend to have more of kind of like a keen eye when I'm traveling. It kind of wakens me to like all of the uniqueness and the beauty of life. But yeah, I photograph a lot. Sometimes that's my iPhone. Sometimes it's my big camera.
Very cool. So you're based in Texas still these days?
I am in Dallas. Yes, sir.
Dallas. So, and that's where we met. I was working with Fred Hammond. We were doing some projects that required some green screen. AMS Pictures came into the conversation, and we shot some stuff down there. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was a really nice studio. It was very nice. And you, like I said, I walked in there, and I walk in there thinking I know a little bit about green screen, a little bit about filming, and then here comes Monika. She knows everything, and I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta go to the drawing board again and try to figure out how this stuff really works. Cause some people it comes natural to it. It looks like that's a natural thing for you to be behind the camera, directing crews and lighting and all that stuff.
Yeah, I like bossing people around, so it works. It works.
It's true. I totally get that. Believe me, I totally get that. It is nice having a crew. When you have a crew, you just kind of go, okay, well, you're getting paid to do this. Anyway, be sharp.
Yeah.
You know, be your best you. So,
Right.
So in Texas, filmmaking. You know, you're from Georgia, living in Texas. Now your passion is filmmaking and documentary filmmaking. So, what exciting projects do you got going? What are you working on these days?
I am presently, I have a couple of things in development that'll be kind of like feature length, but my main focus is on this animated short film. So that is occupying all of my time, and my hope is to have it completed by the end of this summer. So that is my main goal right now when it comes to filmmaking. I also teach, so I do a lot of executive producing for other people's projects and kind of keeping them on schedule. But for my Bird Set Free films, the Dabney from Selma to New York is the main goal right now. So pray for me.
Yeah, so this is an interesting looking film. So now, is this all animated, the entire film?
Yes, it is. And it has taken me a minute. I met Dabney back in 2007, I believe. So Dabney Montgomery is the focus of this. I worked with Tom Rubeck at AMS Pictures, where we did a trilogy of documentaries on the Tuskegee Airmen. Flying for Freedom was the first, and then we did Resurrecting Moton Field, and then after that it was A Defining Moment. And I met Dabney during that first documentary where we interviewed him, and we had a long list of Tuskegee Airmen to interview, and Dabney actually wasn't on the list, but he ended up convincing Tom that he certainly should be interviewed, and I'm so grateful that he did, because he became a lifelong friend to me, and just an extraordinary human being. So that's kind of like my love for Dabney, and my admiration from him grew from the first time that I met him. And I was actually going to New York to profess my love for someone, and that didn't work out, but I ended up going to visit Dabney and Amelia. So every time I was in New York, I would see them and make time to go visit with them. And from that meeting, those visits came this new project. And it actually started off with me, just wanting to create something for him. I was just going to film him doing a speaking engagement, and then editing that for him, giving it to him to use in whatever ways he wanted. And it kind of grew from there. When I got back to Dallas, I realized that it was something pretty special about the stories that he told. And my Aunt Mabel.
Aunt Mabel.
Love that. So it was a wonderful opportunity to do something for him that ended up blessing me, which is oftentimes how things work, right?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you with that music cue. I have some foot pedals, and it gets awkward. Just kidding.
No, trust me, I can go on and on. My students wish they had a music cue. I'm sure.
So teaching is another passion of yours, and that's something you would expect to do a lot of and want to do a lot of?
I certainly am very grateful for being where I am right now. My mother was a teacher, so I remember growing up and that being a part of our life. And so, yeah, it's certainly something that I feel called to do. I think I'm pretty good at it. I certainly have a heart for my students. And I love filmmaking. I love storytelling. And I think there's a great power in this work. And to share that with young people is an extraordinary gift. So, yeah, I kind of love it.
So this film, how much more editing, frame adjusting do you got to do? How soon can we?
Have you been talking to your daughter who animates?
I've been there.
She's giving you some terms. How much frame editing?
Are you doing it in After Effects? Because you know it don't render it every time.
Jeff, no. I actually am teaching an After Effects class, so that has been, again, God works in mysterious ways. So it's been interesting to be thrust into that and then see it bless me with this animation. So I am using After Effects. I'm also using Toon Boom. And Photoshop has a really fantastic animation asset now, which is pretty awesome.
Wow. I love Photoshop. I love it.
Yeah.
So
me too.
So are you doing this virtually or are you in person with these children?
The children, they are, well, last year, of course, we were virtual. Yeah, thank God for not being in that year anymore. But yeah, so we were remote for most of 2020 from pretty much March on, and then we came back this quarter, and it's been super cool. It's my uncle. I love it. All my family's watching. Thanks, you guys, for the love and the support. That's awesome. Oh, Garrett, I love you. My people. So yeah, we were remote for 2020, and this year we have been back in person. I am thankful that I got both of my shots, so I certainly feel much more comfortable with that, being back in person. So now we're face to face, which is better for a college because they have hands-on. Learning how to use a camera, it helps if you can hold it.
I know you've seen my LinkedIn, so you kind of know what I do during the day. A little bit, I do a little of that stuff. So with a bunch of kids, so it's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
it's great
it is,
giving
right?
back to the kids because I worked in the music business for so long that we were in such a nutshell that we there was just a few of us, and we socialized with each other. And now years later, I'm able to get out in the world and actually spread out and reach people, and that's kind of what the show is about. Kind of love this.
I love it. I love it.
So this is good stuff, though. So you, I had a question for you. You got so many. I just want to give you all your love, though, because you got all these people that want to say something to you.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah,
Tom is
cool
the producer
Hey,
that
Tom,
worked
the
with me on all the Tuskegee Airmen documentaries.
Oh man, fascinating stuff, man.
Love him. Yes. Thank you
Those
for
are the
watching,
kind of
Tom.
folks we need in our corner, people. And God,
Dude,
doggone
I tell
right,
you
this
what.
girl's gonna be a star. That's without question.
Tom was like such a wonderful mentor to me. He had such a long roster of work that he had done as a producer, traveled the world, taught in the continent of Africa, came back and was just so benevolent with me. Yeah, so.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's awesome, and that's a blessing. And we need people like that in our lives, and that's what brings us together. And we have this kind of talent. We can share it, man. It's a beautiful thing to help people, young people, come up. So I really wanted you on my show specifically for that reason. I wanted young people, young ladies especially, to come out and see, that this, like I said, you shoot those HGTV. You know how good you have to be to shoot HGTV? You know how glossy and pretty every frame of that video is on these programs that people just take for granted? That stuff is shot in, 8K or something? I mean, it's
Probably these days, right?
It's beautiful. So, but you
3D.
gotta be able to know how to use lenses and do all that kind of stuff to capture these spaces in such the right way, and that's a talent that you have. And in addition to that, you're now a filmmaker, and you're running your own company. Now you're a boss, and you know what? Your friend Tom.
Let you tell it. I love it. I will say for the
Not just me.
HGTV shows that we did, it was always,
Not just me.
it was always, Tom knows. God bless him. And please forgive me. But yeah, I certainly, I got it from my mama, I think is what I'll say for that. But yeah, the HGTV shows, we had a crew, so I cannot take, credit for the way that it was filmed. I was, a producer with a team of super, super talented people. And that is, so there's Tom in the back there with his cool man pose, and Donald. And this was our team for a defining moment. So this is the studio of AMS, and we all got together. Kobe is an art director, Stephanie there, Louisa was our DP. She's also doing really great work in Dallas. If you need a director of photography and you're in Dallas, find Louisa Mendoza. She is incredible. So that's a little snapshot of all of us working on that. It was a wonderful time.
We have sleuths that work for us at the Madjef.
Apparently, we got a nice research team.
Deep get the information that we need. So what else is going on in your world, young lady? What else is happening? Anything good that we want to talk about here today? Enlighten folks.
I think I'm just blessed to be alive and have so many people that are in support of me and the work that I do. I think a friend of mine, I have some friends that have some work that's coming up. A friend, Eric Dunn, I think he may be signing on, but he has a boxing television show. It's like a docu-series that's coming out soon. So if you're in Dallas, check it out on CW33. It's hard fought. I may be directing some of those, so that'll be fun. Yeah, if we can make that work. So lots of good stuff. I'm mainly really spending all of my time on this animation. It takes a lot longer than one would think or would like. So it has been like day and night, the work that I'm doing, but it's getting there. So
I've seen some of it. I've seen one of the clips you have where there's a long scene there, and I'm like, whoa,
dude,
this is intense, man. This is intense.
it is, and
But,
I'm pretty particular, so it takes a lot of time. I thought when I initially was like, we had done all these live action documentaries for the Tuskegee Airmen, and to me, it's really this beautiful way for a lot of them who are transcending, right? Many of them, I think the youngest Tuskegee Airman today is like 97. So they're transitioning, and Dabney has transcended as well. And so this work is, I think, a really beautiful way to kind of time travel and allow his message and his words and his story and his voice to be shared with people that he never met. But that to me is such a powerful and a beautiful use of this art form of filmmaking and storytelling. So that, it warms my heart to complete this, but when I initially decided to make it an animation, I thought it was a real brilliant idea, Jeff. I thought I was so smart. And like 4 years later, I'm like, it's almost done, y'all. So it is, it is quite an undertaking, but yes, absolutely worth it. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. This is really good. This is really good. So glad to catch up with you. I usually like to take about 20 minutes of your time, before, because people tell me I talk too much, and I could just go on and on. But 20 minutes of meat and potatoes, tell me what's going on in your life, talk a little bit about your film. Man, it's such a pleasure. What a pleasant.
Thank you so
person.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on and doing my show. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Next time you're in Dallas, we have to connect.
Definitely, for sure. And my oldest daughter, Bijou Taylor, shout out Bijou, is in Dallas.
Bijou.
You ever
Is that
wanna have
right?
a cup of coffee with one of the sweetest people on the planet?
Yes.
Bijou, that's my girl.
I would
She's
love
in
to,
Dallas.
and I love that name.
I'm gonna pass you in for. Can't.
Please
Bijou,
do.
One of a kind, girl. You never forget.
And
her.
who?
Like, what?
Which
That's
daughter is the animator? Is
the
there
middle
one
daughter
that's
is the
interested in
filmmaker
anim?
in,
Okay.
Brooklyn. That's
Okay.
Taylor. She's in
Bianca.
Manhattan Now the COVID came and she was able to move out of Brooklyn into Manhattan.
She
Life is
said,
good.
"I'm leaving." Oh, she's doing it right. All right, Bianca.
One man.
But please,
No, I wouldn't go there.
yeah, tell her I said hello, and as soon as I'm done with the film, I'll send it her way and get her thoughts on it.
And me? I'd like to
Yes,
see it.
sorry, you too, of course,
Yes,
of
please.
course.
Because I know it's going to be great.
I
already know it's going to be
I
great.
like lifting the young ladies up, and depending on how this film does, it will certainly go to film festivals after we do, I think, a world premiere at the Tuskegee Airmen Convention in September, if all goes well. Then we'll go to film festivals. So if I'm in New York, I'll have to reach out to Bianca. But if the reception is well, my hope is to do an animated series. So pray for me, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Issa Rae,
Thank
if
you,
you're
Jeff.
listening.
Thank you.
Issa Rae. There she goes. That's what you need right there on your squad. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, one-of-a-kind talent. Don't take your
Thank
eyes
you.
off of it. That is Monika Watkins. And I just feel like an overachiever because Monika is dope, man. She is the truth, bro. And I'm so excited that she took some time to come on to my show and spend a little time with me, as I am you. You people out there, man, y'all know it. I need friends. So if you tuning in to my show, we're kind of making friends. And I need friends. This is working out for both of us. You tell me what you need, and I will try to bring it to you. I got some exciting guests lined up, and I try not to reveal them before, but I do that when I'm in a show. And I wanted to tell you about this guy right here. This is none other than Rakis Jean Petri. And I'm gonna tell you something about my man. He's a bad dude, director, librettist. Don't even ask me what that is, but I know it has a lot to do with dancing real good. He's a choreographer, educator out there in LA doing his thing, and he's a boss dude. I can't wait to get him on my show, and he's going to be here next week. So anyway, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Mabel. We sure appreciate your clapses. And more than anything, I appreciate you folks. And here's something that's real important to me. Really quickly, I just want to address before I go away, and that is a subject that is important to me, and it should be important to you, and that is suicide in America. You know, there's a lot of young people that are struggling with issues that relate to whether they belong to this group or that group, or color or this, or all these walls people have and all these reasons people have to be confused about life, especially as a young person. So if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, here's a number for you, 1-800-273-TALK. It's the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. You can reach out to somebody there, and you know what? It'd be a good thing if you did that, especially in those times when you just feel, most lost or alone. So go ahead and do that. Hey, guess what? Also, if you want to catch me on social media, you can, because I'm on the Madjef Music Show on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I am on Twitter. My music show on Madjef Music Show on YouTube is pretty big, and you can support the show if you want to. Buy me a cup of coffee or something like that, no big deal. Hey, guess what? I also have made some sample CDs and music kits that I sell. They're available on my store. You can digitally download those just by swiping that little phone icon right there. Scan it with your phone, it'll take you right to my store. Swear to God, it will. Promise you. Guess what? Got some books too. Wrote some books. And you know what? It's really one of those things that I do just to kind of enlighten and encourage and inspire young people to read a little bit. Because as a youngster, when I was coming up, everything I know, I learned in the library. I literally would go to the library and hunker down like I'm going to know everything I need to know about what it is. And then I would go out and apply it, and people would be like, wow, this guy is really smart. You just sit down and apply yourself and learn this stuff, man. You got to get out there and learn this stuff. So that's kind of what I'm all about. And that's what the Madjef Music Show is all about. Connecting with my friends, old and new, people that I've encountered in my past and my life and my career, coming on my show and talking to me. Let me just say this. The pleasure is truly all mine. There's some good folks out there. I gotta go. I hate to go. You can tell. I just want to linger. But I gotta go. Watch yourself. Don't burn yourself. That's fire.